Hello everyone, happy New Year's Eve to you all. I hope it's nice and crafty. Today we're going to create a New Year's Day card with a brand new stamp set over at the Newton's Nook Design Shop. It's called Happy New Year. It's a smaller stamp, but I always love the smaller stamps if you know my channel. I'm going to pair it with an older Newton's New Year stamp set with the coordinating dies. I wanted to use the champagne glass in there. I also, before we get started, want to share with you an amazing sale that's happening over at the Newton's Nook Design Shop. If you use that coupon code here, you can get 20% off your entire order, which I think is pretty amazing. So I just wanted to share that with you in case you wanted to check it out. I'll leave the shop link down below if you guys want to go do a little shopping for your New Year holiday. Okay, we are going to jump in. This is a smaller 2x3 stamp set that says Happy New Year. And I've always said this, the smaller ones are small but mighty. I loved just how it makes a perfect focal image on your card. I'm going to stamp that with Memento ink on some white cardstock. And then after we have that stamp, I'm going to take the champagne glass and the Newton's New Year stamp set. We're actually going to create quite a few champagne glasses. So I'm going to stamp it. We're going to go eight times. I might not use them all, but it's better to go more than less, right? And that my 8th one didn't stamp too well, so I guess we're going to color in 7 champagne glasses. Okay, I'm going to zoom in and speed it up a little bit. To color in champagne glasses, it's pretty easy. I'm just highlighting with my W1 marker on the edges of all the champagne glasses. And since I want this to be a pink champagne, I'm going to bring in a little bit of pink in the middle. To color in my glass portion, I'm using my C1 marker, highlighting the glass with that. And then my RV10 is what I'm going to add for some pink champagne. Never had pink champagne. Actually, I'm not a champagne person. I love the way it looks. I think it looks so fancy. But I tried it once, and I don't know if it's a cheap champagne, but it gives me awful headaches. But I sure love the look of it. So I'm going for a pink champagne card today. Once my images are colored in, I'm going to zoom back out here. I'll take the coordinating die for the Newton's New Year die set and die cut out all of my champagne glasses. And then after, we're just going to tape this die down. And then I'm going to bring in my frames and flags die set. There is a die that it has oval corners and stitch detail. I'm going to tape this down and grab my frames and flags set. Grab that die and create a background panel. Now I'm going to center this. That's my frames and flags. This is going to, my sentiment's going to go a little bit towards the top because the champagne glasses are going to be on the bottom. So making sure it's centered, I'll tape it down. And then this is going to go through the die cutting machine. And then while I'm die cutting, I'm going to bring in my banner trio die set. Now this die set is currently out of stock right now at the Newton's Nook Design Shop, but any kind of banner die you have would work. You can create your own banners, or the frames and flags die set actually has a banner in there that you could use too. I just like the stitch detail of this one. I'm going to die cut out 3 banners with green, pink, and a pale gray cardstock. And then also I'm going to bring in some silver glitter cardstock and cut out a banner with that. And I ended up cutting out some white cardstock banners too. Once everything's die cut, we are going to stamp some little champagne bubbles in the Newton's New Year stamp set. There is some little bubbles you can accent with, and I'm going to stamp this around my sentiment, just kind of filling in that open area. I wanted my card to look like as if the pink champagne was just kind of floating up, and I think bubbles will help do that. Okay, I think that looks great. After we have the bubbles, I need to color them in a little bit. I added a little bit of pink and then the warm gray, the W1 marker, for the bubbles on my sentiment. So I'm just coordinating the same kind of bubble so it kind of blends better. I'm going to cut my banners in half. This is going to stretch them out, and I thought we'd create a banner filled bottom on our panel. I'm not sure if I'm going to use all the white banners, but I had them just in case. I'm going to add some glue on the very bottom edge of this panel. We're going to add a green. We'll add a pink first. Pink, and then we'll add our green. We have to flip it back over and add a little more adhesive since we're going to overlap our banners. So we'll add our green, flip it over, add some adhesive, and I think we're going to add some silver sparkle next. Actually, we'll add a gray. After we have it all done, I do have a little ink smudge I'm going to erase with my sand eraser, but I just want a little bit of those banners peeking out of the bottom, and I just think it looks, and just ended up using 1/2 of the silver right in the center. I'm going to add some white twine on the very bottom. I'm going to wrap it around twice, and then I'll tie a bow off to the left of this panel. Ideally, if I had some silver thread, I would have loved, or some silver twine, I would have loved to wrap the silver around it to give it a more festive look. But white, I think, just looks just as pretty. After we tied our bow, I'm going to add foam adhesive behind the back. We're not going to remove the release paper just yet. We're going to flip it around and add our champagne bottles. I have a leftover piece of foam adhesive. I'm going to go ahead and just cut some very thin strips and place them on my champagne glasses. And we are going to add them to the bottom of our panel. And you know, 7 actually worked out fabulous. I didn't think, if 8 I wouldn't have used, I probably would have put the 8th one on the inside of my card. So 7 worked out great. Love the way this looks. Some are overhanging on the left and right, some are on top of the twine, but I love the way that looks. Okay, we're going to take some pale gray cardstock. We used one of these pieces for one of our banners. This is a card front panel. I'm going to add that to my embossing folder that has some very small polka dots on it. I embossed that. I'm going to flip it over and add some adhesive behind this. And I didn't realize, but my panel size is a little bit longer than a card front size, so I end up trimming off the very bottom so it's just completely covered our card front. And I think that texture in the background is going to work out great. We're going to remove the release paper, add our panel a little bit towards the top of our card. After we have this adhered, we get to add some bells and whistles. I'm just making sure it's centered. I wasn't sure if I should go all the way to the top or not, and I did end up going all the way to the top here. Okay, bells and whistles, I'm bringing in some very itty bitty round bubbles. We're going to add lots to our background. I added a few on top of the glasses, a few on the inside of the stamped bubbles, and then a few outside of those bubbles. Once we have our gems adhered, I'm going to bring in my Journey Glaze. We'll just put these aside. Journey Glaze is like a glossy accents. And I love adding Journey Glaze to glasses to just give it more of a glass look. It dries crystal clear, and so it's perfect for these champagne glasses. I'm going to go over all of them, and then there's a few bubbles. I'm going to add the stamp bubbles. I'm going to add some Journey Glaze to the top of those too, just to create some clear gloss on those. Now, once we have this done, while our Journey Glaze is still wet, I love doing this effect because it's so neat when it dries, guys. I'm taking some coarse glitter. It's an iridescent, thicker, coarse glitter, and I'm just going to sprinkle some of these on top of my champagne glasses. It's really going to look like they're filled with bubbles, and I love doing this. I think it looks fabulous. Okay, I just tapped off the excess glitter, and that's my project for today, guys. I wish you all a fantastic 2021. I know it's going to be amazing. And Newton's Nook Design actually invited me back next year to create some videos for them, so I'm so looking forward to that. I also encourage you guys to check out that sale. It's a 20% off sale, and it ends the end of New Year's Day. So tomorrow is actually the last day for you guys to get this super savings. Have a great day. Thanks for stopping by, and we will see you next year. Bye-bye.